Well, after all that, luckily, you didn't just survive. You were able to survive, but you helped build a multi-million dollar practice. And so, what changed for you when you finally landed at a place that understood the business side of the law?
Yeah, that was remarkable. That was one of the most remarkable moments of my career. And all of us, there were four or five of us who went to that firm at the time. We all noticed it the minute we walked in the door. And it was, the first thing was you didn't have a non-billable meeting every day. It was just gone, right? So it's like all of that, and none of the sort of top-down requirements and all of that, because you were treated as an entrepreneur in that firm. And that was true of us coming in as lateral partners and associates, but also true of every first year associate coming into the firm. You come into the firm, it's like, you're responsible to feed yourself and, make your practice work. If you're brand new, your clients are all of the lawyers and other lawyers in the firm. Go get to know them and see what they need and see how you can help them. And, you get some mentorship on the way, not like, massive training programs like you get in a big firm, but, like you're going to be in court your first month on the job. So you get real experience, which I thought was, very good. So, there was that. The compensation system was very refreshing, having come from, you get a salary. There wasn't even a bonus component in the firm I was with before. But two, you have a compensation formula. And it was slightly different between associates and partners because associates didn't take risk. You were paid based on billings, and partners were paid based on collections. But you had a formula with several components: origination, of course, and work, the amount you worked, which was you were primarily paid for doing work for clients. You had some compensation for origination. You had some compensation. There was an equity component for partners that you would buy into points in an equity pool, but it was predictable how that pool was created, and had a very good track record of producing profit for the partners. And so what I noticed about that was, as a partner, you would get a spreadsheet every month that had your origination, your working attorney collections, and then you had an overhead, which was right there. And then you saw what they had, their income and what they had available for draw. And you think, oh, now I get to go see what so-and-so is making and spend a lot of time doing that. It had exactly the opposite effect. It's like, okay, now I'm comfortable that, this senior partner is paid on the same basis that I am. So now I can just pay attention to me. I don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing in the firm because that's self-regulating. And, people get paid more or less. And it never comes out of my pocket if somebody is a poor performer. And they get more in a formula we've all agreed to if they work harder. So it seemed very fair, and again, just took that load off my shoulders. The other thing that I loved about that was that the overhead was right there in front of your nose every month.
Interesting.
So it's like, it made everybody into an overhead hawk. So, you couldn't. There's a tendency in law firms to kind of sneak in. Oh, well, I need a half another assistant because my practice is so amazing, or I need somebody who can take care of my dry cleaning. And this just made that go away, because it's like, wait a minute, we just had a bump in the overhead. How did that happen? I mean, mostly that went away. There might have been a little bit of that, but mostly people were going, how do we produce more for less? Because that shows up very directly in my bottom line.